Hey, only me. So I just want to put a tuppence worth in here about the culture of within us all, and then the culture of our learning. So when we're learning, when we're sort of having a growth mindset, it's a mindset of curiosity. It's a mindset of, ooh, what's interesting about this? It's a mindset of, how can I learn and grow from this? And that is actually regardless of what level the learning is at. Because sometimes something, if we take a beginner's mind, then we let go of the sort of superiority or the ego that might have a tendency to say, oh, I've done this, I know this. And if we do that, then we literally cut out our ability to gain anything from that interaction, from that moment in time. And it can be very limiting. Also, it stops us from becoming the best that we can be, because having that sort of been there, done that mindset, it stops the learning and growth in its tracks. It sort of says, I'm a finished product. And with the I'm a finished product, like, for I'm sure that, none of you have, and I certainly don't have any intention of sort of ever coming across that way. But that's what it does to the mind, as it goes, oh, this is done now. We don't need to pay attention to any more information coming in. We can be lazy and we can just like let it wash over us and not really absorb anything. And so actually that stagnates us. And then over time, it sort of retracts our growth learning. It sort of diminishes our wisdom. So that's one big reason not to say been there, done that. Another is, yeah, but not me. Like, yeah, but I tried that and it didn't work for me, so it's never going to work. Which is really, again, another way that we limit ourselves. Because when we say, yeah, but, it might really be coming from an authentic place. Like, I really tried and it didn't work for me. So what was it? What were the factors? What were the parameters? What were the contributing factors? Were there any triggers involved in that moment? Were there other things going on that might have contributed to that not working for you at that moment? Is there a little tweak that can be made? Is there a 1% shift that can be made to experiment again? And again, it goes back to that curiosity. Like, if we have the beginner's mind, the curious mind, the one that's thirsty for information, the one that's really hungry to grow and learn and get the most from the interaction, from that piece, for whether it's a video or a class or a session or a conversation, whatever. It's that, yeah, like, I've lost my train of thought. So, hang on. Been there, done that. And then, like, yeah, but okay. So then if you're eliminating yourself as a candidate for change, like, I'm not a candidate for change. I am a candidate for stagnation. You can put me in the stop here pile. No one wants to be in that pile. Like, who's going to say that? No one. And we sort of unconsciously sideline ourselves from the possibility to be our best by thinking that because it didn't work once, that it can never work, or even if it didn't work 100 times, that it could never work. And, the difference between success and failure is the person that gets up, brushes themselves off one more time and tries again. Like, the only way that we can ever succeed at anything is by putting ourselves up, in the ring, making mistakes, falling over, brushing ourselves off, getting up again and trying again, and getting that incremental piece better each time. So improving incrementally each time. And sometimes we'll have a setback, but people overcome setbacks with a strong mindset. You have, people that are doing incredible things in the Paralympics that have been physically set up to find that much more challenging than an able-bodied person, and There are people that have overcome huge adversity with mental health and with loss and grief and with addiction and turned it around. We have the capacity as human beings to be incredibly resilient and incredibly like the neuroplasticity in our brains allows us to change significantly, and it actually allows us to become completely different people over time if we wish. Like the expression of the DNA literally changes based on what we focus on, based on whether we're in a curious mindset or a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Like if we're and then the third one is so you've got hang on so you've got so far we've got been there, done that, limiting mindset. We've got it's fine for everyone else but not me, limiting mindset. Right, and then we've got also like a nihilism. So nothing can ever change, what's the point anyway? And that idea comes from like a learned helplessness. Like generally nihilism is a protective mechanism that comes in when we've tried and been optimistic and tried, and it's really not, it's hurt us. And so then we come in with the sarcasm, and it's so much of the root of British humour, this sarcasm, and like the self-deprecating mindset, and also it's really heralded socially, and so it's something that we really need to overcome. And in other cultures you don't get that so much, and people are able to be proud of their strengths, and they're able to be showing up. Like my Latino friends are like completely sassy with their strengths. They're like coming in going, yeah, I'm great at this, come on then, show me what you got. And I love that so much. I take so much inspiration from that, because culturally, and also my family have a sort of humility as a big value. And the flip side of having that as a big value is that you hide, that you feel ashamed to sort of get out there and be big. And so I love it when you kind of have positive representations of people being celebrated for performing and being fabulous and all of that loveliness, because it can be an and with attitude. It doesn't need to be over. So those are the things that I wanted to chat about with you. Just like, I guess the attitude that we take to the learning and growth, having a curiosity mindset can be transformational, because what becomes possible when we are curious is we can overcome depression, anxiety, obesity. Obviously there are some medical if there's a serious medical condition, then consulting a doctor and getting therapy is vital as part of the path. But there's a lot we can do ourselves with our mindset. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not undermining or belittling any conditions here. What I'm trying to do is empower us in in the possibilities that we have in our own hands, in being autonomous to our own future, in being the curator of the art gallery of our memories. Being able to go, I am curating this art gallery. I am choosing which memories I'm going to engage with and have. And sometimes you're really fighting against sort of old school family systems. Like I've got this propensity to sacrifice things that I find fun and love for work, because I have a deep sense of responsibility. And so that can be really good, because it can allow me to focus on the projects that I'm doing. But also it can be really detrimental, and it can lead to me missing really beautiful memories with friends, and actually missing opportunities to deepen the friendships. So it's really important to sort of be aware of the values that you're standing for, and also the ones that you're moving away from. And sort of being frivolous, I guess, is something that I would want to move away from, and being, sort of full of integrity is what I'd like to move towards. And so, what values do you stand for? What is important to you? Let's do another video on values.